to bring up that page on.
Pardon? Yes, yes. Royal Decree 269.
Dismantling and defunding of all natural disasters, R&D and experimentation in the Kingdom of Canada.
Yes, so the way the people, again, were funding through their contribution, involuntary contribution known as tax, were funding these research and development and experimentation on, okay, let's try how a typhoon, a extreme cold, extreme hot, flooding, all of that really natural occurrences. Was there ever natural occurrences, or was it designed, i.e. the HARP technology, the geoengineering? And we had in the Kingdom of Canada universities and colleges, I think majority of it universities, who were experimenting on typhoons and everything else in between, flooding, earthquakes, what else? Wildfires. So anyhow, we've put an end to that kakistocracy.
Her Excellency Decoming Solowitz shot her hand up so quickly.
Okay.
Very good. So I love the clause in that decree that if it can be researched, then it's first created in a lab. And then it's extended into the public domain. So if we look at the great harm that is brought to we the people by these not natural disasters, we'll call them created disasters, and how loss of human lives, loss of animal lives, property destroyed. And look at how when a person goes through that, their own personal recovery of reestablishing themselves, of like, it's immense how these were harmful to the Homo sapiens at all levels, at a physical level, at an emotional level. And when you're just trying to survive, well, all your energies are going there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is wonderful that this is being put a stop to, has been put a stop to, so that climate change narrative was used to financially, it's financial robbery and harming animals and Homo sapiens and all living beings on this star system. So even in nature, even like plant life, when you have a fire that destroys a whole forest, well, that just doesn't destroy the forest. It destroys the ecosystem that the trees bring. So it's very extensive. And I want to say to we the people some food for thought. What would our weather look like if it wasn't being manipulated? What would it look like? Well, we still have these intense winters. What kind, and then you look into the vegetation. If we don't have the intense winters, what can we grow? Now we can grow mango trees in our backyard here in Canada. How much that changes the tapestry of what we have known. I'm excited about it. I think it's awesome. So I want we the people to reflect on that. And I thank you.
You're welcome.
Her Excellency Deborah Gray.
Her Excellency Deborah Gregg, can you unmute yourself? Okay, go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Your Excellency Deborah Gray.
Can you hear me, Your Royal Majesty?
Yes. Yes.
Efforts to educate humanity, we the people in Canada, but we the people all around the world, because of the nefarious forces that have manipulated everything for human society for eons. And thank you, Your Royal Majesty. I just wanted to congratulate you again on your efforts to educate humanity, we the people in the Kingdom of Canada, and we the people around the world, as you expose the nefarious tactics that have been imposed on humanity for eons, including all the weather manipulation and all the distribution of false information and climate change, etc. So we're very grateful for this royal decree, and thank you. And now I want to invite.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Okay,
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. This royal decree really awakens the people to the fact that the old system weaponized and actioned environmental warfare against us under the guise of these natural disaster research, development, and experimentation. What we had thought of as natural disasters were deliberate acts of engineered destruction. In effect, It was state-sponsored domestic terrorism, artificial creation of natural calamity, and mass fraud under the guise of science. This royal decree is a restoration of harmony in the star system, as the acts of geoengineering harm not just us humans, but animals, plants, and balance of Earth itself. The royal decree also ends the financial theft via false crisis disasters that serves to justify endless government funding, the taxation of the people, and emergency measures that drain public wealth and the enslavement of the people. So I thank you very much for this royal decree, and it awakened many of us to it, to the reality of what this was. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also important to note is that we the people can ask, for example, the Kingdom of Maharlika, known as the Philippines, because it was named once it was invaded and colonized, pillaged, raped, and everything in between. It was renamed after the King of Spain. I will refrain from saying other things. However, the Kingdom of Maharlika goes through, on average, 20 different typhoons on a yearly basis. Explain that. Make that make sense. Now, also, another question. How is it that they know the names of the typhoon? They have it all lined up. This is 2 weeks from now, typhoon, whatever name will come up, la, 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 la. How do they know? Unless it was manufactured. Also, how do they know that tomorrow it'll be the wind gust is going to be 175 kilometers per hour, and then at 2 o'clock it'll change to 50, and then at 3 a.m. it changes back to 80? How is that happening? Because everything was manufactured. And again, go back to a simple question. How do they know the name of a typhoon? Does it communicate, telepathically, saying that my name is Julio, whatever, the typhoon, and I'll be arriving 3 weeks from now at carrying 375 kilometers an hour with rain, wind, from direction south to the north to whatever, and everything else in between? How? Because everything was done in a lab. Everything was planned. Geoengineering.
His Excellency Herbert Ceramic.
Your Excellency Herbert.
Okay, thank you. Can we remember the climate change engineering, as they talk about, when we talk about the recent island Haiti, where they used the military laser beam to burn their houses, which were expensive suburb in the island, so that they can reclaim money from the insurances of housing now for the bankers to fund them again, so that they can go to another place and buy more beautifuler houses than those ones, whereby it cannot even bend the grass. That beam, laser beam, cannot even bend the tree, but it can bend houses. Now, in that way, it ensures that the way they create to fund themselves, because of, they say, disaster funds, which is they have a disaster trust fund. Then when they create disaster trust funds, all governments or cooperative governments, they will buy that such technology so that they can able to claim in that trust, so that they can fund themselves. Now, this royal decree for me, it's a totally zero defund for them not to function, so that no one can able to buy and threaten its own citizen. How can you buy technology to threaten your own citizens and the country's assets for you to claim to fund yourself through insurances on that root trust funds? That means you are not government of we the people. You are only there to take money from treasury. That means now, when our royal decree, our monarchy, new monarchy of the Kingdom of Canada, start funding this fake climate change programs, technologies like 9/11, when they say flights have went through the buildings, which are still built, so that they can steal trillions on those, for those buildings of 22 trillion claimed. But the people who died in those buildings, they were zero funded, even their families. But the owners of the building, they went away with trillions of dollars using fake communication companies, terrorism, terrorizing everyone on the planet Earth, destroying our own infrastructure of the global world through these systems. It should end. It's not a career, it's a crime. It's terrorism. It should not be funded. I thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. His Excellency Michael.
Thank you, Your Majesty. As we can see, this royal decree highlights the self-inflicted wounds that perpetuate a climate change narrative. And as they create these natural disasters and lay waste to we the people's properties, and they take lives, Your Majesty, and they affect the animal kingdom and everything surrounding it. And then they turn around and monetize and profiteer off of the damage that they've created. It's the problem, reaction, solution dialectic that they've been using over and over again. And with this very significant royal decree, it really ends their kakistocracy, Your Majesty, and to return all allocated funds for this research to the National Treasury, and calls for the arrest and charges against those responsible for compromising the safety, security, and sovereignty of not only the Kingdom of Canada, but everywhere in the world. Thank you, Your Majesty.
You're welcome. And also, it's important to note that not everyone who worked in these sophisticated labs, and not everyone who agreed to push the button to launch, for example, a typhoon to target a particular country or a particular area repeatedly. We the people must remember that at the time of their judgment under natural law, I would like we the people to understand that although they may appear human, they were not. Because humans would not have, on their free will and on their own accord, would have agreed to inflict extreme harm, hardship to not only the humans, but to animals and to the environment, and profit from it. There's a saying that some entities thrive in they say, order out of chaos. They created chaos and walked in to create order. They created the problem, sounds like the politicians. Not all, but majority, where they would create the problem and then wait for a few months or a few years to pretend that they're discussing something, trying to figure out to solve a problem. And then by the time the next election comes around, they come up with a possible solution to fix a problem that could have been fixed within 30 seconds. Had the decisions been made to fix a problem. That's how it takes, even less than that. So anyhow, next, Her Excellency Sally Wong, and then we will go to the next royal decree. And if I could have a time check, please. 12:13, okay? Your Excellency Sally Wong, thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellencies and Your Royal Majesty. Did I miss anything? Because I wanted just to cover that one paragraph that was written 5 times. It was a repeat, same paragraph 5 times in this Royal Decree 269 to defund and dismantle all natural disasters. Did I miss it? Did somebody actually read it? Because everybody talked about it, including the damage, and it's very interesting to know that these people who created and studied these things were non-human. Even if they maybe had human DNA, their affect was totally non-human, because a human would have compassion. They wouldn't allow something like this to happen to their own kind. Because this Royal Decree has this paragraph 5 times. It repeats this after each section, because you have 5 sections to defund and dismantle each section of how they would do the research and development in the programs. May I just, I'll try to read it very clearly. May I?
No, it means change, but go right ahead. 5, military communication. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's written 5 times. Same wording after each section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this has been mentioned already 3 or 4 times, 5 times maybe. Your Royal Majesty writes in this Royal Decree that even the VIPs of the VIPs, our children will understand this in generations to come. It's written here, no one can research of these disasters unless such disasters are first created in a laboratory and extended into public domain, which includes the destruction, disruption, and sufferings of animals and Homo sapiens inclusive, the loss of lives and or some of their properties. This is a self-inflicted wound and disastrous experiment neatly packaged as research and development. In research and development to create a climate change narrative, which then allows for continued daytime financial robberies and killings of Homo sapiens, animals, and all living beings on this star system. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, I think there's a break time.